of that tunnel.
Bob Seeley.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'd like to thank the Government very much for this announcement. I'm new to this issue, so I pay tribute to the honourable members who have done much work over the previous years, the Honourable Lady for Kingston upon Hull North, as well as the member for West Worthing, Stratford upon Avon, and others who have had the wisdom to champion this cause when it was not fashionable. I think islanders affected will, I believe, now have a sense of relief that all the truth around this scandal will come out, and I suspect some of it may be very difficult listening indeed. I didn't actually know if I should be speaking, but I decided to do so after listening to the very moving experiences of some of my residents. They have asked me to be here and to listen in to the debate, and I'm glad that I've done so, and I thank them for that suggestion. I've had residents, as we all have, who've lived with this now for some decades, including several who contaminated illnesses linked to corrupted blood as young as 9 years old. One resident, Janet Shepherdson from Freshwater in the west of my constituency, worries not only for herself but for other members of her family. And she told me that her life has been turned upside down by the contaminated blood case. She said, "My infection has caused me to suffer from a disabling and debilitating autoimmune disease." You may be as amazed as I am to know that despite all this, I was refused funding for the new generation direct-acting antiviral treatment for hepatitis C by NHS England, and I was obliged to buy it myself earlier this year. So not only do I have residents who have been suffering, but they do feel that the NHS, which let them down in the first place, along with others, has not provided the support now that it should have done so, and this concerns me. Madam Deputy Speaker, the light of investigation, whether by government, media or interested parties, is critical to making progress in our society, to uphold justice and to lessen suffering. Often those inquiries are difficult, as we've seen from Hillsborough, we may well see from Grenfell Tower and others, because it asks questions for those in authority, it tests the system. The outcome should be justice, and as one of my right honourable colleagues or my honourable colleagues just said, and trust, both in the system but for people here to do the right thing and to battle for their constituents. And in summing up very briefly, I think islanders will want to know a series of questions now. Now, I know that some have been asked, and I won't repeat them all, but I think 2 or 3 outstanding ones that I would like to stress is if the Minister or Government could at some point explain the difference between a statutory and a Hillsborough-like inquiry, especially for those of my constituents who are interested in participating in this inquiry, how the widows and families of those who are already died, 2,400 of them, how they will be treated as participants, but also how will their claims and how their financial and other claims be treated. And finally, I think, again, the reassurance, well, 2 things. Firstly, the potential criminal elements have to be investigated to their ultimate conclusion, but also can he reassure us that as being as comprehensive as possible, it will be time limited. Thank you.
Ella Fernandez.